faces who have just joined the audience here. My name is Dagny. I'm one of the naturalists here on staff, and we are lucky enough to get to experience the magic of our Kelp Forest today. But before our diver enters the exhibit to come do a feeding, I'd love to just get you introduced to this space because it is truly a really incredible place to be. Now, as we're taking a look in through these windows, what we're seeing is not a random collection of algae and animals. It's an intentional choice of these different species that we're showcasing here, all making up a really vibrant, thriving community with lots of different personalities and characteristics, very similar to what you might find in your own neighborhood. And at the root of this community, what anchors it all together is the kelp itself. It's providing a home and food for all of the numerous species that live in this ecosystem. But I have a question for you all this afternoon. Have any of us maybe been to our back deck yet today? Some of us have. If you haven't yet, that is your homework for after this feeding. Because what you would see out there is very similar to what's being shown on the monitor. You would see patches of seaweed floating at the surface of the water, where otters are playing or seabirds are diving down to grab a bite of food. And much like the canopy of a rainforest, the canopy of our kelp forest only gives us a fraction of the story. This exhibit right here aims to show us the hustle and bustle that goes on beneath, or the understory, if you will, telling us what life is like out in the kelp forest, from top to bottom, from canopy to holdfast. And there's a really exciting reason that we are even able to showcase this kelp for you all, and it's because of the very water in this exhibit. If you take a look up at that monitor once again, you'll see our 2 intake pipes that are bringing about 1,500 gallons of seawater from our bay straight into this exhibit. And from this exhibit, it will circulate throughout the rest of our other exhibits here at this aquarium. And in addition to providing the ingredients needed for this kelp to thrive, this water is also bringing life itself. We've got microscopic algae, spores, and larvae from animals making their way on in through here. But it looks like my friend Anne has just arrived and definitely bringing her own entourage there. She'll be making her way on over to this window, over to the right-hand side of me. I know my directions, my friends. And what she'll be doing is a feeding for all of the hungry mouths here in this exhibit. But something that's really cool about my friend Anne here is that she's got a special mask. So she actually has a microphone and she'll be able to communicate directly with me in just a few moments. But in the meantime, let's all give her a very warm welcome today.
Hello everyone, hi Daphne. Hello, welcome to the Kelp Forest.
Hi Anne, it's great to see you, and certainly you've got lots of friends this afternoon. I'm certainly sure it's because of your bubbly personality, isn't that right?
No, it's because I brought lunch. I've got a really nice lunch for them though. We have got clam and squid and shrimp, which are look like little mini shrimps. They're different. We do have shrimp in here though. Excuse me, I'm just grabbing the food. Aren't you supposed to tell the guests what's on the menu before they dive into the bucket?
Looks like they're being a little impatient this afternoon, but that food just must be so tasty. I'm sure they can't resist.
I also have these gel cubes. Don't tell them. That's a way that we're absolutely ensuring they're getting all the nutrition they need. Hang on, Mr. Shark. Hold on.
I would like to let you know our sheephead looks particularly interested in getting in on this feeding right now. And I always love to give our divers a little bit of a heads up when the sheephead makes an appearance for a very particular reason. Anne, would you let us know what that reason might be?
Yes, these sharks have got little tiny teeth. That sheephead has great big teeth. Out in the wild, he is crunching open urchins and snails and things with hard shells. And in here, oh, here's the female sheephead. She also has big teeth. As you can see, her coloring is much more distinct. She's a lovely all-over rosy color. Whereas the male has got those big black and red bands to make sure you can see it, so he can say, my territory, I belong here.
Absolutely, and it looks like we've got a couple of those sheepheads making their way on around. We just saw that female. The male has taken a little trip out to the back of the exhibit, it looks like. But we were just talking for a second there about those leopard sharks that were particularly excited. And I know you in particular are excited to be diving with them. So would you tell us why that might be, Anne?
Yes, the leopard sharks are a wonderful representative of the shark species in the ocean. They are a beautiful fish. They normally swim along the seafloor in sandy areas, and you can see their mouths are down underneath. They are zero threat to humans. We are a much bigger threat than they are. And they're just a beautiful, beautiful fish to be able to get close to. Out in the wild, they hear somebody big and clumsy like me swimming along, and they're gone. So it's so wonderful in here to be able to get up close and spend some time with them.
And it's amazing that we get the opportunity to watch you interact with these beautiful animals. And once again, our sheephead is hanging out right above your head there,
Oh,
Anne.
I'm sure you want to turn around here. That's right. You want the shrimp?
There we go.
What? Oh, spur the shrimp?
I definitely wouldn't say no to some shrimp right now, that's for sure.
It's a beautiful shrimp.
Aw.
It's a beautiful shrimp. Come on.
Okay, third time's the charm.
There
Amazing stuff. Now, our male sheephead is a really unique part of their life history process because they'll actually all begin their lives as female. So, Anne, would you tell us about how exactly that transition happens?
Yes, I mean, it's an amazing adaptation some animal species have to guarantee they'll always be able to have a successful population. In the case of the sheephead, they all are born as females. But about the time they turn maybe 7 years old, if this male were to swim out of this territory, the dominant female would be able to transition. Hello, there's another female. Carla's talking about her. And she would be able to transition into a male. It's a pretty amazing adaptation that helps guarantee their survival.
That's really impressive stuff, and they are certainly a really important species out in the kelp forest as well. So their survival is really integral to the growth of that kelp, and it's because of the foods that this animal eats. So Anne, would you expand on that for us?
Yeah, they eat those urchins and snails, things that actually graze on the kelp. And of course that is wonderful for helping keep a balance. But if you get too many urchins or snails, you end up with a barren where the kelp just doesn't get a chance to grow in. And then this habitat can literally disappear.
We really want to protect our kelp forests because, as we are clearly seeing right now, they provide homes for lots of different unique, diverse animals out there. So each of them has their own way that they fit into this kelp forest habitat. Whoa, there we go. But I'd love to highlight the kelp for you because it is one of the more underrated aspects of this exhibit. Most people will come here to take a look at the fish that are swimming around, but the kelp is in fact my favorite part here. Now, Anne, I'd love to hear some of your favorite fun facts about our kelp.
Well, you know, the kelp is incredible. It's not got a root system like a plant. It just has what they call a holdfast. It's anchored onto the rock, and for example, the bull kelp is one right over here behind me, will grow an enormous amount in a year. It's an annual plant, and it can be 100 feet long in a year. The macrocystis, the giant kelp, is so lush, and again, the holdfast might last for several years on that, but the fronds really grow in each year. And they're getting most of their nourishment right out of the water. They literally are sucking the nourishment they need from the water around them.
The Monterey Bay is a really special place that hosts these kelp forests because we have some pretty unique features down there, and it looks like our sheephead is coming up again. There we go, amazing. Second try this time.
He likes to line up on his food, I think.
Good one. Now, Anne, there's a really unique feature, the canyon within Monterey Bay, that supplies a lot of the nutrients needed for our kelp to thrive. So would you tell us about the process that happens in this canyon that brings those nutrients up to the surface?
Yes, the colder water is, the more it's able to carry nutrients And so the water down deeper is colder. Oh, wait, we suddenly have a rush of sharks here. And because of the way that deep canyon comes all the way into Moss Landing, we've got deep water right offshore. And as the wind blows, it pushes the surface water away, and we get what's called upwelling, where that dense, cold water comes to the surface, full of nutrients, and helps feed our kelp forest.
It's really incredible, and all of this nutrient-rich deep water is coming right up to areas like right off our back deck, which is why it's so incredible that we have those intake pipes supplying all of the water that's coming into our aquarium. So that's the first ingredient needed for our kelp forest in this exhibit to thrive. But we have two other super unique features that help to make this a successful exhibit. So Anne, would you tell us more about that?
Well, of course, one is the fact the exhibit is open in the sunlight. That's the other thing that kelp absolutely needs, is sunlight for photosynthesis. But kelp is so efficient at pulling nutrition out of the water that if we left the water standing still, the kelp would literally make a little desert around itself. But by having the surge machine moving the water back and forth, there's always new water against the kelp. I turned it off to get in. I get seasick if I'm swishing back and forth while I'm feeding the fish. Not a good thing.
Can't blame you for that one, and it would be a little bit difficult to deal with all of this action up here, as well as the currents moving you back and forth in this exhibit. But I love to pivot because I have to address the giant sea bass in the room, my friends. It looks like we've got it right above your head over at the surface. So Anne, tell us a little bit more about this incredible animal.
She is beautiful, and she's only a young one as far as sea bass go. She has a lot of growing to do still, but the sea bass we have are part of a research study. Their species is in trouble out in the world, and we don't know enough about them. So she is not getting food from me because the staff will target feed her. She's trained to come to a particular color target, and that way they'll be able to keep track, exactly what she's eating and how fast she's growing. They're also able then to do medical exams on her and make sure that she stays fit and healthy.
Yeah, amazing stuff. It's all part of the work that we're doing to help protect this threatened, iconic California species. Because not too long ago, there were very few of them out in Monterey Bay. So it's a really great example of our conservation work in progress here. But there are other things that we can do here on land to help protect animals like this giant sea bass. And one of them is through the seafood that we choose to consume. So I have a question again for my audience here. Are any of us out here seafood fans? I'm hearing some yeses. I know it can be a little awkward talking about seafood while we're here at an aquarium, but I promise you they can hear us out there, and they're also enjoying some seafood of their own.
They're all seafood eaters, so don't worry about them. They're fine.
Well, it looks like the shark is just going right away.
Come on, you need to get your head out of the bucket.
I didn't know this feeding was also going to be a comedy show today, Anne, but here we are.
But yes, we use the Seafood Watch program here at the aquarium to pick the food we're feeding to our friends in the exhibit. Because we want to make sure that we're not only getting food that's healthy for them, but if possible, healthy to keep sustainable oceans.
Now it looks like you've got a really cool copy in there. Would you mind opening it up for us and showing us what you have inside?
I just want to watch everybody that's trying to put their head in my bucket. So it's sort of like a stoplight, where things that are excellent choices, sustainably raised or harvested from the oceans, are on the green list. Things that we want to be a little more cautious, maybe we need to be just not doing too much or giving them a chance to recover, are on the yellow list. And then the red list are things we definitely want to avoid because they are populations that are in trouble out in the ocean.
Absolutely, Anne. And if anybody is interested in maybe acquiring one of those Seafood Watch guides, I have some here with me, and they are a lot less soggy than my friend Anne's guide in there. So feel free to come grab one after the feeding wraps up. But as we've got some friends maybe even sticking their faces in that bucket, I'm sure we've got some other hungry mouths at the back of the exhibit that still have yet to be fed.
Well, you know, my guide buddy Mariah is upstairs, and she's got a cup of food in much smaller bites for the little mouths near the surface, like our baby perch. And so she can broadcast that into the water and create a little cloud of food for all of them.
Amazing. So stay tuned, direct your attention up to the top of the exhibit, and just in a few moments we might be joined by that incredible krill. But Anne, I wanted to ask you, do you have any final thoughts to leave the audience with now that you're a celebrity?
Thank you. Well, I want to wish you all a wonderful time here today. I hope you get to meet lots of amazing residents of the ocean, both kelp and animals. And if you have a chance, go out on the deck. We are having what they call a bait ball. There's been a huge school of bait fish out in the bay the last couple of weeks. And the pelicans and birds are all feasting. The sea lions, and you might even see whales right out there.
Yeah, it's a really amazing time to go out to our back deck. So again, if you haven't been there, that is your homework, my friends. But of course, if any of you have any questions while my friend Anne here continues to feed out that seafood, come feel free to chat with me up here. Again, my name is Dagny. I want to thank you for spending your afternoon here with us at our Kelp Forest. And if you're moving on, continue having a fantastic day here at the Monterey Bay Aquarium.